Coming up on Seminole Sports Magazine, let's all just start out by taking a deep breath. I know the Clemson game is just a week away, and seriously, everyone, one deep breath. It's one of the biggest games in the history of the ACC, and it's right around the corner, but we've got all kind of Seminole athletics action in this week's show, including some newcomers on the FSU's women's soccer team. With expectations sky high, will they be ready to make the big plays? Also, we'll look in on the honoring of several FSU female athletes, not just for their achievements on the field, but also for their success beyond the game. Then the volleyball team goes one-on-one with Caroline Dodowski as we go on the scene with Ms. Green. And the FSU baseball team had several players live up to the nickname the Boys of Summer, and we'll check in with their summer league experiences. These stories and more on Seminole Sports Magazine. Hello everyone, I'm Rob Wilson. First up, one might think that a preseason number 3 ranking and a very real chance at a national championship would mean no worries for our vaunted soccer program. But the truth is the program had to rely on 7 newcomers to make big plays right away. Amanda Ferguson introduces us to some of the new players on the field this season.
Joining a nationally ranked soccer team is a tall order. But these newcomers to Florida State bring with them skill, talent, and passion. Beating last season's success will be hard enough for returning players. For FSU's 7 newcomers, the challenge is even greater.
I definitely think it's an honor. Florida State is a very competitive school soccer-wise, and it's been ranked very high for the past couple of years. And not just anybody comes to this school to play soccer. It's a very honorable thing.
The recruits were also drawn to the university by FSU's athletic facilities and its coaches.
A big reason why I chose FSU was the coaching staff. I feel like they are the people who's going to take me to the next level and where I want to be professionally on the national team. I feel like they're the people who's going to help me get there. That was the biggest reason, and then I fell in love with the school on top of that, so it was a double bonus.
New faces to a new school. These women had a lot to learn in a short amount of time. But at least 2 of the newcomers knew each other long before they put on the garnet and gold. Ani Sarkeesian and Nicolette Dries are both from the Garden State.
I feel like we're representing New Jersey together and our club team, and I think it makes our families and our friends and our past competitors happy to see that we're working together here to make an impact on the team.
Their friendship made the transition to a new school a little easier, but the transition on the field was a lot harder.
It's completely different. I mean, the intensity, the speed, the pace, everything, the players. I mean, I've never played against players that were this fast, and it's the movement on and off the ball is really important, and we're all different ages, so it's different.
Friendships off the field can improve the play on it. Forward Anna McClung knows goalkeeper Cassie Miller has her back.
It's really convenient that she's a goalkeeper and I'm a forward, so whenever I want to take some shots, she'll try to save them, but I will save them. But yeah, no, it's awesome.
These girls know that if they want to compete with the veterans on the team, they'll have to put in the long hours on the practice field. It's a lesson Ani learned at a young age.
My mom said I didn't even start walking. I went straight from crawling to running, and that's how I got introduced to it.
And the newcomers will not be crawling either. They know they have to hit the ground running. The coaches and returning players are depending on them.
For us, it's all about how good they are with the ball and being versatile. So a big part of it is being athletic and just quality with the ball.
One thing's for certain, these new Noles have the drive it takes to succeed.
Sometimes, again, freshmen could be a little nervous at first, but they came in, wanting to learn, and I think that's awesome that they have such open minds and they're willing to do anything to win and, to help the team.
With guidance from the upperclassmen, this young team has high hopes.
Well, there's definitely a lot of pressure when it comes to living up to the expectations, but that's why we came here. We want to strive under that pressure. We want to come through for our coaches and the rest of our team.
Take a look at these names, Seminole fans, because these girls did not come to Florida State just to play. They came to conquer. I'm Amanda Ferguson for Seminole Sports Magazine.
FSU's soccer team has been ranked as high as number 1 already this year, but the bar is always set very high for this program. As we enter fall, Follow the Seminoles every day by clicking on Seminoles.com. When we come back, we'll recognize several former FSU female athletes for their success beyond the game. And we'll take a look at how the FSU baseball team has spent their summer preparing for another run at the championship.
Seminole Sports Magazine is brought to you by Coca-Cola Zero. Real Coke taste and 0 calories.
Many Florida State women excel beyond the game they love after graduation. But no matter where these Lady Noles end up, they're always thankful for the Garnet Gold and the valuable lessons they've learned as FSU athletes, as Taylor Duran tells us in Life After the Game.
Three qualities burned within every member of Seminole Nation: various artes and mores, strength, skill, and character. The female athletes of Florida State uphold these to be femina perfecta, a complete woman. Champions Beyond the Game honors women that have achieved success in the professional world, from becoming university presidents to doctors like one of this year's honorees, Dr. Liberty Taylor.
I think for our current athletes, it's really nice for them to see and hear from former female athletes who have gone out and have achieved some things that they very may well have in mind for their goals for the future, and it's nice for them to see that those opportunities are available.
Dr. Taylor is a true lover of Florida State University. She played basketball on full scholarship from 1991 to 1995, received a master's degree, and most recently earned a medical degree from FSU.
Everything that I learned as an athlete, I've been able to carry over into my professional life, and it has helped make me very good at what I do.
Champions Beyond the Game has honored FSU female athletes for 15 years. For former professors Dr. Jan Wells and Dr. Billy Jones, the event is a trip down memory lane.
You know, we watched her play basketball a lot.
Yeah, that's been a while.
How long had she been, did she say she'd
been out 20 years, she said, so.
Dr. Taylor credits part of her success to Florida State's basketball team and the lessons she learned on the court.
I could not imagine a better group of girls to be on a team with. And having said that, I'd have to say teamwork would be probably the biggest or the most important factor in how I learned and how I approached life after I left FSU.
Taylor's college athletic career was over, but the competitive spirit that embodied her during her years on the hardwood at FSU was still alive. At 28, she decided that she needed another challenge.
Basketball has no shortage of doctors, whether it's Dr. J or Dr. Duncanstein, but Liberty Taylor is an actual doctor, and her skills go far beyond the court and into the operating room.
There's an event that comes to mind when I was in medical school and completing my medical rotations, and it was a case where the surgeon had made a mistake and had lost the patient's airway. But I watched the anesthesiologist just step up and save the patient's life. And that's when I realized that I wanted to be a part of the team that, no matter what happened, do what's best for the patient.
This one event paved the way for her to become a practicing anesthesiologist. Champions Beyond the Game is a time for women like Dr. Taylor to celebrate each other's accomplishments.
They recognize the fact that athletes can do anything and do it very well. And we thought it would be a good idea for our women athletes to understand that the people who went before them had done very well and that they too could do well.
And to everyone out here and my entire FSU family, I have the same message. Thank you so much. I could never have done it without you. Thank you.
Garnet and Gold unites us as friends, family, and Seminoles. It also encourages these female athletes to continue winning personal and professional championships long after they hang up their jerseys. I'm Taylor Duran for Seminole Sports Magazine.
It's such a testament to the quality education and experience everyone gets at Florida State and the impact it has on graduates beyond the walls of the university. When we return to Seminole Sports Magazine, Mara Green goes one-on-one with teammate Carolyn Dodowski in On the Scene with Ms. Green.
Welcome to the first segment of On the Scene with Ms. Green. My first guest is my teammate, defensive specialist, Caroline Dodowski. Caroline, thank you for joining us.
It's an honor to be in your presence, really.
Stop it. Okay, let's just go ahead and get started. So, what would you say is the best thing about being a twin?
I'd have to say the best thing is always having a best friend. I mean, I've been with her every day my whole life, so you know, we have a really close connection and it's really fun to be around.
So are you implying that people who don't have twins don't have best friends?
No, they have best friends. It's just, you know, I was blessed with a best friend, and you know, you guys have to
Look
try
for
and,
one.
Yeah, you have to search. Yeah.
I'm still looking. So what would you say is the worst thing about having a twin?
The worst thing would probably be, you know, I understand people are gonna get us mixed up when they say like, oh, it's the same thing. It's not the same thing. We're different people.
What can you give an example?
An example would be like if a coach says, hey, Laura, go to middle back. And I'm like, oh, I'm Caroline. And they're like, it's the same thing.
Wow, that must be a rough life. I'm sorry. So let's get on to more important questions. So what is it like playing with me?
Oh, it's an honor playing with you, first of all. But the first thing I like is that you speak your mind. You don't, if someone needs to be put in their place, Mara will be the one to do it. And also, you know, you just had surgery over the summer, so it's a really big inspiration to see, you know, how you fought back and you're playing even just a couple months after surgery.
You're about to make me tear up. Please.
Oh, don't do that.
Stop it. Okay. Well, you know, moving on, what's it like to play for the coaches, CP, GoCon, and the new addition, Coach Mack?
It's really nice to see the dynamic that they have. CP, he kind of like is in charge of everything, handles the scheduling. GoCon and Coach Mack are more hands-on in practice. And what I like, Coach Mack fits in. He's really funny, but he knows when to be serious. So like, it's really nice to see how they work together.
I personally like how he has random inspirational quotes he likes to throw in there.
Yeah.
I like that about Coach Mack. So you are a Northerner.
I am.
From Pittsburgh.
Yes.
What would you say makes Pittsburgh so great?
All the sports. Everyone in the city is behind all of the sports, even though, you know, they don't always have winning seasons. Like the Pirates, for example, this year is the first time they've made the playoffs in my entire lifetime.
Wow.
But the whole city has always supported them, so that's nice. And also great food, great weather, all 4 seasons. It's really nice.
Does every other place in the world not experience all 4 seasons?
Other places do, but you know, Pittsburgh gets, you know, a nice equal balance of all 4.
Okay. So since you have been with FSU volleyball a year and a half, correct?
Yes.
What would you say is a hilarious moment that stands out to you?
Every single day, something really funny happens. So just this past weekend, we went on the Freedom Trail in Boston, which was a lot of fun, but there was a moment when we lost CP. We had no idea where he was, and so Coach Mack was just like, oh, let's just keep going. So, you know, we stuck to the Pirate Code.
Which is?
You know, well, one part of it, if someone falls behind, they're left behind. We just kept moving and hoped that he would catch up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did he catch up?
He
have
did.
a coach?
He did, yes.
He's not in Boston?
He's not in Boston,
He's
yeah,
here.
he made it back,
All
yeah.
right, all right.
He caught up somehow. I don't know how, but.
All right, sounds good. So, what are you studying? What is your major?
I'm in communication sciences and disorders. Well, I'm on the path to get into the major, and yeah, it's, you know, helping people with speech impediments and hearing impairments, and you know, helping them to communicate with others. So
that sounds it's so
fun.
sweet.
Oh,
so
thank
nice.
you, thank you.
She's such a helpful person. I love that about her. So, what goals do you have for yourself as a student athlete?
Every day I just try to get better, and one of the things that I personally do is just try to beat out my sister and everything, because you know, we're pretty equal, so every time that I do better than her in something, I always feel good about myself. Yeah, a little pat on the back.
Actually, I don't understand. I don't have a twin sister.
You don't have a twin, no?
I don't have a twin brother either.
Oh, I thought you did.
Eldest. I'm the eldest.
Oh.
So, do you have a favorite dance?
I do. It doesn't really have a name. It's just like a little jig.
Just a little jig?
Yeah, just kind of like
kick
my feet out.
So I've always wondered what it was like when you would break it down on the court.
Yeah, Laura always tries to copy it. It doesn't work.
Doesn't work.
Doesn't work at all, no.
The whole twin thing?
Yeah, I'm better at it.
So would you say that there's a particular quote that stood out to you that one of the coaches said at one point or another?
It's, GoCon says this all the time. It's not really anything like really profound, but if you're having a bad day, and you know, you're not having the best practice, and you just hear GoCon say, hey, good job, buddy, and like give you a little high five, it puts you in the best mood, you know? It really cheers you up. You think, oh, things are okay, you know? I am doing good, and yeah, it just lightens my day.
Well, Caroline, I'm so glad that you were able to join us for our first segment
me too.
on the scene with Miss Green. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me, Mara.
No problem. And we'll see you next time.
When we return, we'll learn what FSU's Boys of Summer did to get ready for this season. You're watching Seminole Sports Magazine.
Seminole Sports Magazine is brought to you by Coca-Cola Zero. Real Coke taste and 0 calories.
After a tough loss to Indiana in the NCAA Super Regionals, the FSU baseball team's sole focus this summer was to improve. After players participate in various summer leagues, the team has regrouped in Tallahassee with renewed confidence and optimism. Sean Davidson takes a look at how they're swinging towards another successful season.
11-6 our score. Noles trying to rally in the ninth, but they're down to their last chance. Indiana is ready to pour out of that first base dugout and celebrate a first ever trip to Omaha. This one is a sinking, no, it's not sinking either. It stays up, it's caught in left field, and the celebration is on. A dog pile between the mound and first base. The Hoosiers are headed to the count.
FSU's next trip to the College World Series would have to wait at least one more year. Every year, the Noles bid for their first national title ends prematurely, one heartbreak after another. Last June was no exception.
I was actually the last person at bat when it happened. It was a 2-1 count. Got a good pitch. I put a good swing on it. I hit it really hard, just hit it right at left field. The left fielder, and I took about 3 steps out of the box, and then I saw that he caught it, and then they actually ran right in front of me and dogpiled. And just seeing the excitement on their faces and the disappointment on my teammates' faces, it was just a terrible feeling, something you don't want to go through.
Even though they've traveled to Omaha an impressive 21 times, the Seminoles have never returned to Tallahassee as College World Series champions.
You have dreams, you have aspirations at the beginning of the year, you have goals. And our goal each and every year is to go to Omaha. And we didn't really look at it as somebody else was going, but we didn't go. And we knew we had some unfinished business, and that's why we got back to work right away.
This year, the players had little time to cope with their disappointment. A few weeks after FSU's season ended, 12 of them left for various summer leagues across the country. They gave up their offseason to improve their games. One of FSU's pitchers, Billy Strode, even traveled to Alaska to get better.
I met a lot of people up there. When you were in that town, everybody thinks you're a rock star. You're the Major League Baseball team in that county or that region or wherever you are.
DJ Stewart played in the Cape Cod League and was invited to play in the league's All-Star Game. John Nagowski played in the Perfect Game Collegiate Baseball League in New York. He had an incredible summer with a .365 batting average and scoring 33 runs over 44 games. His team won the league's championship series. He was also named the league's Player of the Year.
It was awesome. I mean, we won a championship, which was, that's the big thing. There's such a great support from the fans in Amsterdam. During the summer, every game was packed out. 3,000 at every game. They love it, and we wanted to win a championship. That was the most fun, is getting the dog pile with my guys that I played with all summer.
Luke Weaver was invited to play for Team USA. Weaver pitched in a game against Cuba. He also took the mound in Japan.
Just being invited to the team, just such an honor. And to wear that, you know, USA across your chest, it's something not a whole lot of people get to do.
Associate head coach Mike Bell pushed the players. He encouraged them to not focus on their letdown, and he placed them into their leagues.
You go off of players' experiences from the past, you try to put them with the best programs, best organizations, and put them in the best situation so they can continue to develop and do the things they need to work on.
Summer leagues have an important role in the development of our baseball players. Potentially the biggest thing they bring back to FSU is extra confidence for when they step up to the plate.
I think anytime you're getting more at-bats, more innings, you're getting an opportunity to play the game at a high level, and that's called development.
Summer League Baseball also allows the players to be seen by professional scouts.
There's scouts there every single day, Major League scouts. Usually the best competition goes and plays up there, and so you're seeing a Friday night starter pretty much every single game that you play up there, and scouts want to see that.
The school year has begun, and the team has started its fall practices. The baseball staff has also recruited some of the best young talent in the nation. The excitement surrounding the team has reached a fever pitch, and the expectations still the same.
We're trying to win it. You know, we're trying to be on a plane heading out to Omaha and dogpiling in Omaha.
But now, after dedicating their so-called offseason to improving their performance, the Florida State baseball team is swinging toward success, and very strongly at that. I'm Sean Davison for Seminole Sports Magazine.
Florida State's baseball recruiting class has recently been ranked the 3rd best in the country. You can see all the new and returning FSU players in action on October 17th and 18th in the fall Garnet and Gold games. I'm Rob Wilson, and we'll see you next week on Seminole Sports Magazine.